Good morning. Welcome to Morning Brew on Hughes of the World. I'm the Hughes. This is the world. Just there on the bookshelf. Hello to everyone in the chat. We've got Diz in there. We've got Lost Missionary. We've got Billy. We've got Graham H, whoever that is. We've got Liam as well. We have got, I said Diz, didn't I? Did I? I don't know. SG. We've got Saz. We've got Person Impersonator as well. Hello. Martin Harrow. Hello. We've also got Francis Winrow. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the show. If you'd like to join our friends in the chat, it is a friendly chat. Like, just don't be a troll. That's all we are. Don't be a dick about it. We're going to let you into the chat. Just, like you bring someone to a party, and then they like just behave like an arsehole, and then everyone thinks you're an arsehole because you're the person who invited them to that party. Yeah, don't be the invited. Don't be that person. Don't make us all look bad. All right. And we'll let you stay. It's all right. So if you do want to join the chat, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button and wait for approximately 60 seconds. 60 of your Earth seconds, and you'll be away. And you'll be able to say what you like, really. Within reason, don't be a troll. Right, okay. So we're going to be talking about sabotage. Anyone like my thumbnail today? I was quite proud of that. It's got the sabotage logo from the Beastie Boys. Yeah, pop culture reference. From over 30 years, well over 30 years ago. Yeah, I'm down with the kids. Yo! Anyway, so Makerfield. It's Makerfield or Breakerfield for the Labour Party. And possibly the country. Andy Burnham's route back to Westminster runs through Makerfield. Now, listen. There's a chance that he won't win. There is a very good chance he won't win. There's an okay chance. There's a half-decent chance he won't win. Right? Don't panic. Apparently, he can still stay on as mayor of Manchester. And at some point in the next 2 years, I'm sure he'll try again to win a seat. Okay, so all is not lost if he doesn't win. But this is going to be the real litmus test on whether Burnham can return to Parliament, whether he can challenge Starmer, whether Starmer can survive the summer. Now, if he wins, I don't think that Starmer's going to survive the summer. And there's also rumblings in the Starmer camp that if Burnham does win, then there is a chance that Starmer might just step aside and not run for re-election. In which case, it'll be Burnham versus Streeting running for leader. And Streeting in that scenario, I can't see Streeting standing a chance. Not just because we don't particularly like Streeting, because his views come across as quite transphobic, which I mentioned this yesterday. You know the transphobic ruling of the Supreme Court last year. It's now affecting the Windsor framework and the functioning of human rights law in Northern Ireland. Yeah, thanks for that, 4 Women Scotland, 4 of them. I think I'm going to kick back now at anyone who says, "Oh, England, you bastards, you dragged us out of Europe against our will," which is fair enough for a Scottish person to say. I have no beef with that. They're absolutely right. But I'm just going to reply with, yeah, and you fucked our human rights laws. Yeah, bastards. Just saying. But then, I mean, the argument could be made in Scotland. Well, if you hadn't bloody taken over our country and messed everything up, we wouldn't have been in a position to come down to England and mess things up. Anyway, good job. There are subtitles. Fairford is manic this morning again. Oh dear. It's just another manic Monday. It's actually Monday. It's Monday, the 18th of May, 2026. The election, the by-election in Makerfield is probably going to be, I don't know if it's been officially announced, but everyone's saying it's going to be the 18th of June. So we've got 1 month, we've got 4 weeks. This is 4 weeks to decide whether Burnham can return to Parliament, if he can challenge Starmer can survive the summer, if Labour can hold off refuck in a working class, left behind, red wall, Brexit voting, leave area, and whether Nigel Farage gets to claim he's destroyed Labour. So, not much at stake. Labour won Makerfield in 2024, but refuck did come second, and at recent local elections, refuck took around 50% of the vote in the area. That tells us something, that the mood is a little bit dangerous. Burnham has personal popularity across Greater Manchester, but Makerfield is exactly the sort of seat that the Brexit Party, UKIP, refuck, whatever it's calling itself these days, will win out of could win out of frustration with the status quo. Because obviously, if you're upset about immigration, voting for the party, which is the party of Suella Braverman and Robert Jenrick, the Home Secretary and the Minister for Immigration at the time that our immigration figures went through the fucking roof. And I think it'd be worth Labour pushing on this, If you're worried about immigration, look what your refuckers did. Arrow to a graph that's got that big hump in immigration. Because that's what happened. It's because we needed people to come from all around the world. I have no problem with it. But apparently some people in areas, especially up in the north, they genuinely believe that the reason why they can't get hard anymore, the reason why their dog died, the reason why their wife left them, the reason why their car won't start, the reason why it's raining today is because of immigrants. It's all because of immigrants, not because of their own life choices. Just saying. But yes, obviously we are frustrated a little bit in our ambition in this country. If you weren't born in a private school, there is a soggy biscuit ceiling. The soggy biscuit. Has anyone hit the soggy biscuit ceiling? I've definitely hit the soggy biscuit ceiling. I need to sound more posh. I realised this last night. When we were talking at the, that Marina doesn't come from a posh background. I don't know about Ed, but they both sound so fucking posh. Even Mike sounds posh compared with me. I just sound like I was just on there going, fucking day, yeah. And everyone else is like, well, indubitably, Graham. I can see what you're trying to. I can see the point you're trying to make, but you're making it in a bit of a Scouse twang there. But no one will take that seriously. Obviously, that's not what they were saying. But if you haven't seen the Sunday Night Social last night, it was a really good Sunday Night Social. It didn't descend into the usual drunken debauchery and violence. So that was nice. But it was really good. So please check it out. We'll try and get Marina back on the show again at some point over the summer. So listen, Burnham. He has personal popularity across Greater Manchester, right? But he is going to face a lot of an uphill struggle, right? And as far as I'm concerned, as things stand, Burnham really does have to win this. If he wins, he can return as an MP. He gains a Democratic mandate. He can present himself as the man who stopped refuck in Makerfield. And obviously, he will be the prince across the water, the king across the water. The Emperor across the water, and the Emperor across the Death Star, and he will, as someone who's like an outsider, which is hilarious because he used to be part of the Labour government in Tony Blair's reign of error. But he comes across as an outsider in the same way that Boris Johnson did, which is good. If he wins, then there's a very, very good chance he'll be our next Prime Minister. And our first Scouse Prime Minister since William Ewart Gladstone. But if he loses, Starmer will remain as Prime Minister, even if Streeting mounts a challenge. I doubt he'll win. I just don't think he has the backing. I don't think he's got the numbers. I mean, if he had the numbers, wouldn't he have gone for it last week? Do you know what I mean? Maybe Streeting would become a little bit more viable by default because he'll be the only person that people see, well, that isn't Starmer, but I can't really see it. The big problem is, and like I said earlier, Burnham will stay on as Mayor of Manchester if he loses, and he'll get another chance. He'll get another chance the next couple of years. There'll be a by-election somewhere. But it gives Farage a massive propaganda victory, and that's what I'm worried about. That's why it's so dangerous. But at the same time, great little litmus test, innit? Great litmus test, whether it can be done. My daughter, who has a distinct Manx accent, says, I speak very posh. I grew up in India, but we watch / listen to so much BBC that I suppose my accent is based on the way they spoke on the BBC. This is the BBC. This is the British Broadcasting Corporation. This is why they used to talk on the radio. Aha, Mr. Hitler, I will give you what for, and then you'll know. You'll know. Everyone will know. Women, know your place. Listen, I'm going to just go and close the curtains because I realised that the lighting's not right in here with the curtains open because it's too bright coming through. So I'm just going to fix that. I'm going to fix that. I'll be back in a second. All right, you can watch the intro again. Hey, stay there. Don't go anywhere. Woo! There you go. I'm back. See, I'm better lit now, even though I just dropped the frame. That wasn't good. Graham, you're cracking me up this morning, says SG. Oh, thank you very much. Faves says, would rather have Starmer than Streeting or Rayner. Burnham would be best. It's all a risk, though. Really hope it goes well. Yeah, Faves, I mean, Burnham will be best. I think we all agree on that, no matter where we're coming from in the Labour Party or outside the Labour Party. But Reform's strategy is to make all this about Brexit and immigration, right? And they want it to be about Brexit betrayal, immigration, establishment, painting Burnham as a Remainer at the time, and now as a rejoiner. And talk about Labour refusing to listen to working class leave voters, this whole thing of Nigel Farage, the bastion of the neo aristocracy, claiming to speak on behalf of the working class, which is unhelpful at best. But Reform were already going to attack Burnham over Europe, and Streeting, who is sitting there as an elected MP by a tiny majority of 500, he's just handed the refuck fuckers a bit of a win here, because he stood up on Saturday and said we should rejoin the EU, which normally I'd be like, yeah, fuck, do it, man. Yeah, let's rejoin the EU. But no, not right now. Shut the fuck up. Like, you can say that after the election, okay? But this is he knows, and we know, and Burnham knows, and Farage knows that the constituency of Makerfield voted 2/3 to leave the EU. All right, 2/3 to leave the EU. So we shouldn't be talking about the EU at all in this by-election, because it's got no relevance to it, really. I really don't think we're going to be rejoining the EU this Parliament. I don't think we can do that anyway without a mandate from the people. So yeah, I mean, this looks to me like sabotage. I'll just go that little every time I say sabotage. It'll be good. Off topic, but seriously thinking of changing my YouTube username. People think I'm a fanboy for Wes Wheel. Well, if your name's Wes, I mean, then that's your name. You could have at Wes. No, not that one. We have someone who comes on the channel sometimes called was it Storyteller because Teller was taken. That's their name. Miss Paula Towers, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Streeting has two basic problems. One, he's basic. Oh no, sorry. One, he comes across like a giant slug with a trailer slime. Two, he only has a constituency majority of 500-ish. Yep. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. I may have photoshopped his face a little bit on the thumbnail, which is a bit cheeky of me. But you know what? What's even more cheeky? Standing up on Saturday and saying, "Hey, listen, we at Labour, do you know what we want to do? We want to rejoin the EU, don't we, Andy? Don't we? And Andy's like, "Shut the fuck up, man." Anyway, so Wes Streeting has said quite rightly that Britain's long-term future lies back in the European Union. Now, on the substance of that, plenty of Labour members, including me, absolutely agree with him. And Brexit was a catastrophic mistake, which is costing the British people billions of pounds every year. But a lot of politics, like a lot of things in life, is about timing. Comedy, love, sex, all about timing. And saying this is just as Burnham is about, saying this is just as Burnham is about to go into a bare knuckles brawl with Refuck in a heavily Leave voting seat is, at best, incredibly naive, but, at worst, deliberate sabotage. and Burnham's allies clearly think it's the latter. Their argument is simple. Streeting knows exactly what he's doing. He knows refuck want to make Makerfield about Brexit. He knows Burnham needs to avoid being pinned down as the rejoiner candidate. So Streeting is making EU membership central to the leadership debate. This is a gift to Farage. And if you didn't like Streeting to start with, fucking hell, how do you feel about him now? Wheels Darren, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Very kind of you. If Burnham wins, who do you think will take over the mayoralty of Manchester? Have you set an SC target? I don't know, but I think Gary Neville. Honestly, Gary Neville. Just do it. I'm no problem with celebrity mayors if they do a good job. Shinzad, I think Starmer has been done dirty by the media, and it's understandable that people hate him. I hope he just realises he's got to go, though, because his credibility is shot. Yeah. But I mean, look, it's not into the Beastie Hughes. I like that. Ooh, maybe I should change my name. Beastie Hughes. I like that. I like the sound of that. I'm a wee beastie. A wee timmery beastie. I agree. Starmer has scored a load of own goals. End of. Like, he has. And it's like, you know, people talk about the previous guy and they say, oh, he was crucified by the media. And he's like, well, he gave them all the fucking material to crucify him with. He was like, here you go. Here's some pieces of wood. Here's some nails. Do what you will. And they're like, no, can't believe it. Look at you. Look, he's given us all these. He's given us these two massive pieces of wood that we can slap together with some fucking nails. Hey, good job. Just saying. But yeah, you know. But you know that, like, the idea that Streeting has done this to purposely sabotage Burnham's efforts to get re-elected. I mean, it's not just like that is a really low, underhanded way of going about it, because I guess he knows, like we know, and the Labour Party knows, that Streeting can't beat Burnham in a straight fight. So he's got to be a sneaky little fucking snake about it. And, you know, does he want refuck to win? I mean, is his ego that fucking huge that he's like, I will sabotage his efforts to get elected? I mean, if there was anyone who was like a huge Streeting supporter in the Labour Party, I think we're going to look at this and go, hey, mate, why did you do that? Why did you do that then? Why did you say that then? You know, why that? Why that? And he's probably walked off that press conference on Saturday going, I'm such a tricksy little motherfucker. But the reality is, like, he's handing Nigel fucking Farage a win here. But I will say this. If Burnham does win, and I hope he does, I think he will, but, you know, don't want to get my hopes up too much. But if he does win, then now that Streeting has said what he said, well, this is a direction that Labour's got to go in more and more towards rejoining the European Union, because Brexit is such a fucking disaster. And this is nothing to do with the fact that, you know, well, you're only allowed a referendum on this once every 50 years. You're allowed a referendum on it. It's not about that. It's about the real politic of it all. Like, the situation we're in at the moment is not where we should be. It is not where we should be. We are 5th in the world in terms of GDP. That sounds fucking great. But when it comes to GDP per capita, we're 19th, which is not very good. But GDP per capita is not even a good way of seeing how wealthy, how well off people are in a particular country. It's just, if you have one billionaire living in a village of 100 people, then everyone in that village is on paper a fucking millionaire, when they're not. Well, fucking not. You know, it's just the way it shakes out in GDP per capita. So you look at sort of PPP, purchasing power parity, which is a slightly better way of measuring GDP, or measuring how much money people have got at the end of the day. We're 30th on the list. We are 30th out of the nations. There's stuff above us in that list, which includes the European Union, which is above us on that list for PPP. GDP, TPP, CC, DDP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. But yeah, it's just, this is Yeah, GDP is not a great way to measure wealth of a country. GDP per capita is even worse because if you look at the GDP per capita of all the states in America, if you added the UK to that list, then we will come dead 51st, like dead last. Even though, we'll come below Mississippi, which is impoverished to fuck. I hadn't considered the sabotage aspect. I thought Wes' speech is pretty good. I wish it wasn't him saying it. Lol, says one Angry Pagan. I did a reaction on my channel. Yeah, no, like I say, like at any other time, fine, go with God. But come on, he sat there. He sat there. He sat there. And if Burnham loses, he could say, Streeting can say, he's overhyped and he couldn't win the seat and Labour needs a different kind of leader and the party cannot gamble on regional popularity and, vote for me. But, this is, I think it's a stupid thing to do for Wes Streeting because he may think he's being bold by saying Labour should stop running scared of difficult arguments. But in the middle of a leave-heavy by-election, come on, that's what it is. It risks looking exactly the sort of Labour politician that Refuck loves to campaign against. Metropolitan, myopically focused on Westminster intrigue and skullduggery and obsessed with Brexit and more interested in internal Labour positioning than addressing voters' immediate concerns. And he looks like he's trying to look serious, look like the serious national candidate with ideas, but he may end up being blamed if Burnham does lose. I mean, it won't be the only factor. There'll be other factors as well. Depends what the Greens do. The Greens decide to throw the kitchen sink at this election, which, I really hope they don't do. I really hope they don't throw the kitchen sink at this because I don't think it will be productive. I don't mind them running a candidate. Of course, they're going to run a candidate. The Lib Dems are going to run a candidate. The Monster Raving Loony Party are going to, field a candidate. But when it comes to actual boots on the ground, I really don't think that the Greens should be going after this seat, hammer and tongs like they went after Gorton and Denton. Because what it'll end up with is perhaps allowing in Refuck by the back door. I mean, if it's 23% Labour, 23% Green, and then 24% the other one, what are they called? Refuck. Then Refuck get in. It's first past the post. Hey, listen though, I was thinking about this yesterday because we were talking about how Burnham wouldn't have a mandate to change the electoral system before the next general election. But and someone mentioned having a referendum, and I was like, "Fuck that, we're not having a referendum." But I've slept on it. I've thought about it, and I'm thinking, actually, yeah, that's what he could do. He could promise that voting reform. No, not voting. Oh shit! I hate the name of that party. Changing the voting system to make it fairer. So people aren't wasting their vote. So people can vote for the party that they want to vote for. Urbane Legends. The Greens should ask Burnham to guarantee voting in exchange if he becomes PM. Guarantee voting reform. Yeah. But we can't call it voting reform. We need to say changing the voting system, don't we? Because if we say voting reform, it makes it sound like we're advocating people to vote for reform. Let's just call him Refuck. Let's just call him Refuck. Ooh, like Grinder. Ooh, hello, Kitty. Listen, we've got talk about Burnham's tightrope here as well. Burnham's got to walk a very narrow line. Just like Johnny Cash. He can't alienate Labour members, many of whom are strongly EU, but he cannot let reform define him in Makerfield as the man who wants to drag us back into Brussels. You're already seeing the newspapers. I'll show you them in a minute. Like, it's all about Brexit betrayal, stabbed in the back. And this is the thing that the whining class love to fucking whinge about. What are you whining about today? Betrayal. I've been betrayed. Betrayed I have. Oh, okay, why have you been betrayed? Because they're going to take our Brexit away from me. Okay, tell me what good things have come from Brexit. One good thing. Name me one good, positive thing that's come from Brexit. Oh, well, we developed our own vaccine against COVID. Well, first of all, you don't believe in vaccines. But secondly, even if you did believe in vaccines, I would like to point out that we were still effectively a full member of the EU when we came up with that vaccine, because we hadn't actually properly left yet. We were in the transition period from the end of January 2020 until the end of December 2020, when we were still as for all intents and purposes, we don't have voting rights, but we were following the rules and obligations and standards of the European Union. Okay, another one. Oh, sovereignty! No, actually, it's undermined our sovereignty because we can't do the things that we want to do now. We have to run around like America's little bitch and go, oh, can we have a trade deal? Can we have a trade deal, please? Please, can we have a trade deal, America? And America, it's a capricious fucking psychopath. It goes, yes, you can have a trade deal. And then they press like a button. And then the floor opens up and we descend down into a pit of fire. I'm not quite dead. And it's just like, oh, okay. I will give you your just rewards. Press the button. The seat falls back. Drop out of the plane. I thought we were getting on. Yeah. Or we could have a deal with the EU, which is a sensible organisation filled with sensible people who want sensible things for its sensible population, rather than the American administration, which is a very silly administration, which does things for its very silly followers, whatever they're called, acolytes, voters, whatever. Saw some footage of a air show in Idaho where two jets hit each other, and everyone ejected. The 4 pilots ejected, so that was all right. They weren't hurt seriously. But like, you just look at that kit. You look at that kit, you go, fucking hell, that's millions and millions of dollars worth of kit. 2 fucking fighter jets crashing into each other at a fucking air show. What the fuck? You spend all this money on making these bloody, cutting edge fucking fighter jets. Spend millions, billions on these, the development of these motherfuckers, the construction of them, everything. And then what do? You take them out for a fucking joyride for some fucking slack-jawed yokels in Idaho. I mean, Idaho. Nobody even knows where Idaho is. It's taken the emergency services a long time to get there. They're like, oh, there's been an accident in Idaho. Where the fuck is that? Who fucking knows? I think it's next to Wyoming. Where's Wyoming? I know exactly. Anyway, but yeah. Brexit was about tax havens being legal. Yes. And Ivan, thank you very much for the £20 super chat. Thank you. I'll tell you now, my psychiatrist will be hearing the lot today about these two egos. Not every Labour Party member thinks the same and cares about the same things. I'm sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. Ivan, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Really appreciate that. But again, I'll say, listen, if this is getting to you to this extent, please you don't need to watch this. You don't need to watch this show. You don't need to, maybe watch when I'm playing Super Mario Kart or something, or Monkey Island. I might do a Monkey Island show tonight. And we'll just take the foot off the gas. We'll be doing an episode of The Rabbit Hole on Wednesday, where we're not going to be talking about politics. And honestly, mate, your health has to come first on this. And at the end of the day, there's not a lot you or I can do to change the situation that we've got. But yeah, I'm sorry you're getting so upset about it. Please don't get so upset about it. I know that's an easy thing to say, but yeah, if I think a few days off from all this might be helpful, mate. Because I don't like it when you're not feeling good about all this stuff. Graham, you should play Subnautica. Says one. Okay. I followed you from the very first Three Men in the Pub days and lately watched a lot of your content, so it's only right that I joined and coughed up some dosh, says Paul. Oh, thanks, Paul. Paul's now a member of the channel. Welcome to Lone Star. Welcome. You, my friend, are awesome. You're awesome. Thank you, Paul. But yeah, Ivan, take care. Honestly, mate, take care of yourself. I don't want to say stop watching because I like having you here. But if what I'm saying is upsetting you, or what we're talking about, you find distressing, just don't do it. Don't do it. But yeah, and best of luck with your appointment today, mate. I hope you get it all out. But yeah, Andrew Ray, £5 super chat, thank you. With £500,000 salary, what's Matt Britton's CV, including Google School? Will this reduce the Tory control of the BBC? I don't know who Matt Britton is. Sorry, I've not been on this. Let me Google that. Matt Britton, Director General of the BBC. Oh, so that who he is. Okay. 57 years, businessman, who was top of Okay. And he went to, he went to Hampton School. He went to Hampton School. Gonna have to add him to the private school mafia list. Let's have a, does anyone know how many people are on the private school mafia list now? Private school mafia. Started off, little list of like 100 people. Then it went up to 200. Then it went up to 300. Now it's over. He will be the 1,315th name on the list. Let's have a look at the other Matts we've got. Who else have we got on the Matt? We've got Matt Fry, Matt Hancock, Matt Lucas, Matt Ridley, Matt Warman. We've got Matthew Amrilly Waller. We've got Matthew Cottle, who's a Brexit wanker. We've got Matthew Elliott. Oh, no, sorry. Matthew Cottle. Sorry, you're an actor. Matthew Elliott, Brexit wanker. Matthew Good. Matthew McFadden, Matthew Paris, Matthew Sadler, Matthew Waterhouses, Matty Healy. From the 1975. I mean, bloody hell, that's just the Matts. That's just the Matthews. Anyway, so what's this guy? Matt Britton. So that's going to come after Matt Arnold, isn't it? Or Matt Fry. So just in between Matt Arnold and Matt Fry, I will insert one row below. Matt Britton, you, my friend, the Director General of the BBC, apparently, as of yesterday or something. I don't know. We are going to make you the 1,316th member of the private school mafia. So I'm just copying and pasting the info here. Hampton School, and he is a director. He took up the post on the 18th of May. That's today. Oh, okay. Director General. Director General. That's very close to Witchfinder General of the BBC. There you go. Whew, it's all right for some, innit? Mate. Matt Paint. Yeah, Matt Allen. Matt Paint. I like that. And Hugo Gloss. The political shenanigans are very emotional. I have to distance myself to regroup every so often, as it can be addicted. So give yourself some time away, Ivan. Yeah, Paul, I agree with that message, mate. I try and keep a distance from all this by just going, it's all very silly. It's all very, very silly. But when you're on the front line, when you are affected by the shenanigans in Westminster like nobody else. I mean, if your first objection to what's going on on this island is there's too many immigrants, your life is obviously all right. Like, I'm sorry, but if your life was really difficult, you would be focusing on other things other than immigrants. I swear. But those people who are living with disabilities, those people who are members of put upon minorities, I would, transgender people in particular, which you mentioned a lot on this channel, because it feels like no one in the media really wants to talk about the fact that transgender people have had their rights stripped from them for no good reason other than 4 women came down from Scotland and said, we don't like women. We don't like these trans women being around. Yeah, okay, well, we'll get rid of them all, shall we? Because that's possible. You know, if you did try and get rid of all trans people, right, there'll be more trans people. If you don't want trans people, stop cisgender people having trans children. There you go. Just like you need to stop straight parents having gay kids. Just stop it. Don't know how you stop it, but, or left-handed kids. This is Bish. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Loved the Sunday night social last night. My first super chat ever. Woo! Thank you very much to This is Bish for the super chat. That's very exciting. And also, I think we've had 5 super chats now, so I'm going to fire off this confetti cannon. 3, 2, 1, confetti! Woo! Yay! This is the special confetti. And if we get another 2 super chats, it will trigger the confetti in the chat, which is very exciting. And I will do the confetti cannon again. Oh, Ivan, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. The fundamental thing I feel is I need to be engaged, but it has to be in ways which are helpful to me and don't get me worked up. Finding those specific ways is really difficult, though. Yeah. And I think also there's at the moment as well, Ivan, for all of us, there's a kind of like information overload. It's all coming in at a million miles an hour. There's all stuff, TikTok videos, and there's news articles, and there's breaking news alerts, and all this kind of stuff. It's all a bit much. We've never been like this before. Do you remember the first episode of ER? You probably don't, you're too young. But the first episode of ER, it was following the new doctor who had just come to the to work at the ER hospital, Chicago Hope, or whatever the fuck it was called. And it followed a day in his life, and he was trying to sleep in the cupboard and he couldn't sleep, kept waking up. His pager kept going off. His pager kept going off. His pager kept going off. Every time he put his head down, the pager went off and he'd have to go and do something else, right? Young doctor working in America, in the American ER room. And the emergency room, the ER department of the hospital. And I feel like we're all like that now. I feel like we are all like that fucking young doctor who's running around just trying to fucking get everything done, and every time you're about to fall asleep, ping, your phone goes off and it's another fucking message, You're getting paged to let you know that some horrible things happened on the other side of the world, which something you can do nothing about. And this is one of the issues that I think a lot of us have, is like this feeling of helplessness. Like we do what we can, but it never feels like enough. I don't know about you, but I always feel like that. It's one of the reasons why I do this. It's one of the reasons why I do a YouTube channel rather than anything else at the moment, because this is what I feel comfortable in doing. I feel like I'm okay at it. Not particularly great, but I'm all right at it. And, there's one thing I can do is I can fucking talk. I can fucking talk the ears off a fucking donkey. Take that, donkey, you donkey bastard. Viper Scott, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Just for the confetti. Good. Hope you're not a donkey fan. I like donkeys. I didn't call them a shit horse. I didn't. I did not call them a shit horse. Anyway, a disappointing horse. Anyway, thank you very much for the super chat there. This means that I can unleash the confetti cannon again. Just a couple of minutes later. That's fantastic. 3, 2, 1, confetti. Should we go for a Boba Fetty next? Should we go for a Boba Fetty? Let's start another goal. Let's go for a Boba Fetty. Boba Fetty. You want yourself a Boba Fetty. Was it George Clooney? Maybe. What, the donkey? Maybe. You're on the beach in Blackpool. You're on this sad donkey, and then you get off the donkey after riding it for 15 minutes up the beach, and the donkey pulls off his mask. I am actually George Clooney, star of Ocean's 11 and 12 and 13, which wasn't very good. Hey, how you doing? No, it wasn't. It was Noah Wiley. Noah Wiley, because George Clooney. I don't even know if George Clooney was in the first episode. Didn't he come a bit later? I don't know. We might be mixing it up with Neighbours. But it wasn't George Clooney. He wasn't the donkey either. God, this has gone in a surreal direction this morning. Anyway, where were we? Starmer. He's still there somehow. This is kind of bleakly funny because this is all only happening at the moment because his leadership is clearly collapsing. And Lammy, I think he said Labour needs to get back on the pitch. It's a good little quote that, 10 days of infighting, probably the best line from Starmer's side. Stop with the psychodrama, win the by-election, govern the country. But Starmer needs Burnham to win Makerfield for Labour. He needs it. Because if the Labour lose, then they're in real fucking trouble. The party's in trouble, not just Burnham. I mean, like I say, he'll stay on as mayor of Manchester. Starmer is literally, this is darkly hilarious, but Starmer's going to have to campaign for the man who's going to replace him. Do you know what I mean? That's like, that's like having to, I don't know. I'm sure there's some kind of like marriage dynamic here. It's a bit like having to do the painting on the house of your ex-wife for her husband who's broken his leg. Does that work? I don't know. But yeah, it's like, why am I doing this? I don't even want to be here. But it's kind of like he's a hostage to diplomacy. It's just like he's a hostage to fortune. But again, I do think that in this situation, Starmer has made a lot of mistakes. Can anyone deny that? He has made a lot of mistakes. That's why he's done 15 bloody U-turns, or however many it is. Or readjustments of the course in which the good ship SS Labour was heading towards. Lammy's role is like, obviously he's loyal to Starmer, but also a bit of damage control there. there's no departure timetable for Starmer. Labour must unite. And when it comes to mentioning Brexit, I mean, this is the line that all Labour politicians are using. Because I think it was Rachel Reeves who first said back in March, where she gave a speech and she actually said that Brexit has damaged Britain. And then that kind of like gave permission to all the other Labour ministers and MPs to say, yeah, fucking Brexit's fucked us so hard. Well, we're not going to walk straight for a week. Ivan, thank you very much for the time. Super chat. Oh my God, Ivan, you're so generous. Thank you. Indeed, Graham, the 24-hour news cycle has a lot to answer for, as does social media. I remember the 80s and 90s. Many things were worse, but there was no constant overloading news. That was bliss. Yeah, mate. Digital detox is the way to go. I know when I was working on the island in March, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of effort. We were shifting soil during the day in the fucking heat. Mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the noonday sun, and then it was raking all this soil across acres of this island with a rake. The kind of job that you would normally do with, like, I don't know, a fucking combine harvester or something like there with a little rake. Really good. There was a lot of fucking work there. Like we couldn't paint in the afternoon because the sun was just too bright. It was just too intense. We had to like quickly paint that side of the house in the morning, while it wasn't too hot, because in the afternoon, Jesus Christ. But it was great. It was great just to have something to do that didn't involve me listening to TikToks, listening to LBC, listening to BBC News. Going online, because the internet there is shit, as anyone who watched any of the live streams can attest. And I just felt like we were doing all right. And I got back after a month, and you know what? The world still goes on. I mean, the world doesn't give a fuck whether I'm paying attention or not. And obviously, I did look at a bit of the news because I did have to do my shows during the day. In the morning, well, the morning for me, it was the afternoon for you lot here in the UK. But yeah, it was nice. It was nice to get a break, and I kind of would like to do another one in October. Have a break for a couple of weeks and go over there and just do some more work. There's a lot still needs to be doing. A lot of gardening. It's going to be a massive gardening effort when I go back, trying to get stuff to grow. But I genuinely believe that it is great for your mental health to just get out and or do something else. You don't necessarily need to leave the house and fly to fucking Panama to do this, but just something that doesn't require you to be on call 24/7, turn the notifications off your phone, sit there, do a jigsaw, play a game, just do a cryptic crossword, do something that you enjoy doing. It's got, although cryptic crosswords quite unsatisfying. And then if you don't finish them, and then if you need to look up a word or something, or you need to look up a clue, and you go into one of those crossword solver web pages, and they always have pictures on the web pages of like disgusting things like earwax and rotting toenails and stuff, because that's how Google ads think that's what they think you want to see in the morning. I've actually had vomit come up into my mouth because of some of the pictures that come up on those fucking ads. So yeah, I block them all the way. Google are fucking stupid. Like, if they didn't allow these disgusting adverts to run, I don't mind adverts that much. I mean, I didn't have an ad blocker before, but now I fucking do. Google. Fucking dickheads. I'll show Graham these disgusting pictures first thing in the morning. He'll love that. Who made that decision? What we need is pictures of really disgusting shit. Oh yeah, fucking that'll sell whatever the fuck it is they're selling. I don't know. But yeah, who's like scrolling in the morning and goes, oh, look, a picture of a diseased foot. Oh, I'll buy that. What are you selling? Diseased feet? Anyway, I don't like feet at the best of times. Jesus Christ. So yeah, Starmer said that everyone should campaign for Burnham, and if you're a member of Labour, I'm sure you've got an email about helping out with the Makerfield by-election. And it's sensible party management for Starmer to be saying this, but it does not solve the underlying crisis that most of the MPs under him, they either want him out or they are ambivalent to him leaving. Let's put it that way. But Lisa Nandy's waded into the row over whether Streeting should have said something at that particular time. She said it was a bit odd which is, put Westminster language for like, what the fuck are you doing, la? Like, a point is not necessarily that Streeting is wrong about Brexit. It's just that choosing this moment to make rejoining the EU part of the leadership conversation creates a problem, a headache that Labour does not need in this by-election. And it gives refuck an easy attack line. And it gives the Tory press, as we're going to see in a moment, a ready-made betrayal narrative. And it's forced Burnham onto difficult terrain. And it's made it look like Labour is more interested in arguing with itself than actually taking the fight to refuck and the corrupt, disgusting blob of toxic bigotry, which is Nigel Farage, the guy who used to make jokes about the Holocaust. And still hasn't apologised for that, by the way. Still has not apologised. I mean, if it had been me, I would have said I was a stupid child and it was wrong then, it's wrong now, blah, 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 blah. He doesn't say that. He just goes, I don't know, I can't remember. It wasn't me. The kids. I don't recall events. I may have said some racist things, but it was all in jest. Everyone had a laugh about it. I'm like, you don't know how things hit. But yes, and then you've got the voters, as Jonathan Hinders pointed out, voters are not asking for another Brexit debate. They are asking about cost of living, housing, jobs, NHS access, local decline, crime, immigration pressures, and public services. And as much as I would like to rejoin the EU, it's not the first. It's not forefront in most people's minds. And you can say, Brexit has failed without making the rejoining the EU the immediate campaign slogan. In a heavily leave voting area of the country. Ivan, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Ivan's being incredibly generous this morning. Google also doesn't help with relentless news updates and alerts as soon as you go on it. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. I mean, so on my phone, if you swipe left, it gave you like news stories that it thinks you might be interested in. I just turn it off. I just got rid of it. I've got hardly any updates on my phone. And this is why people message me and they don't get a message back for a very long time sometimes, because I'll get the message and I'll see that it's there, but I'll be driving or I'll be up a ladder, or, getting dirt out of the gutter or something. And I'll deal with that later. Because I blame my ADHD. I just never get a chance to get around to it. the attention it deserves. That's why I'm usually a bit tardy with responding to messages, which is why I prefer this. Do you know what I mean? Because your messages are just there. I'm right here. If I read your message, I can give you an instant response. You're not going to get that. And also the problem is, as well, Ivan, as well, you talk about notifications. There's like 30 different ways to send me a message now. There's 30 different ways. There used to be one way there were two ways to send me a message back in the 80s, right? You could either call me on my house phone and hope that someone else wasn't on the phone at the time, and then ask to speak to me. And I had to be in the house, couldn't be out the house. And then the other one was to send me a letter through the post, which would take a couple of days. Crazy. A ladder for taking down flags, Graham. Up a ladder taking down flags, Graham. Well, I don't go up a ladder. It's dangerous, Al McPherson. The way you do it, I mentioned this the other day, is you get one of those long poles that you can get. You can use a fishing rod, or you can use one of the long poles that you can get for flags. Ironically, you can use a flagpole to take down the flags that you get, the extending ones that you get for Glastonbury and stuff. And you get some carpet tape. You put a strip of carpet tape on the sorry, do that. Just getting covered by this. You put a strip of carpet tape on the top of the bit of the of the pole, and then you get it up there and you twist. You start to twist. I can feel it coming. The beginning of the twist, and then you keep twisting and then pull it off. Once it's all snaggled up, pull it down. Yeah, take that filthy fucking rag. That's upside down anyway. Chris, I'm sorry Farage was an older teen when he made those anti-Semitic comments to younger pupils. He can't use the excuse that he was a kid and didn't know the harm it caused. Oh, yeah. No, I'm saying he should apologise. Explain that he was a stupid child. Like, he was a stupid child and he apologises for any hurt that he caused. That's what he should be saying, I think the emphasis should be on the apology rather than that he was a stupid child. But, like, I don't hold those beliefs anymore. But, like, who knows if he holds those beliefs now? I think he probably still does. Because he hasn't apologised. He said it wasn't him. He said he didn't do it. 30 people came forward to say he's a big anti-Semitic, racist twat in school. And he's gone, I never said nothing. Never said nothing. Never said nothing. Captain Coconut, it's a shame that if Farage did not receive 6 million from his Taiwan for now benefactor, if this was the case, we could troll him with the $6 million man noises. Nah, as he walks by. It wasn't Taiwan, it was Thailand. But yeah, it was it was 6 million. Oh, for now, yeah, from his. No, actually, you could call him this because what's 5 million and what's 5 million pounds in dollars? It's going to be about 7 million, isn't it? Hang on. Let's have a look. £5 in dollars. What? No, that's how many inches are in a centimetre. Oh my God. Google, are you a bloody idiot? Are you an idiot? Are you a dunderhead? Are you an idiot sandwich? Okay, so it'll be $6.66. That's insane. So yeah, he's the 666. He's the 6,066,666. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, 666,666. There you go. All that's about right for Farage, isn't it? Fucking Lord of Evil. Lord of Darkness. The bigger problem that Labour have got, though, is Labour is trying, and this is what Wes Streeting's comments sort of go to the root of. Labour's trying to speak to two groups at once, and it's possible to have like lots of cognitive dissonance in your head, but also Labour trying to balance this act, and it'll all come tumbling down at some point. And I'll give you an example. The Democrats in America used to be the right-wing party. They were the party of slavery. And then things changed with FDR and they became a lot more socially progressive. And then obviously during the Voting Rights Act era of the 1960s, they became incredibly progressive. So you had JFK, you had Lyndon B. Johnson, you also had Robert Kennedy, all prominent Democrats. And only two of them were assassinated for it. But this left lots of the racist Southern Democrats, the big fat fucking gobshites who were just horrific racists. It left them feeling a bit bereft because they were like, oh, well, where's my party gone? My party has left me. This wasn't the party I signed up to. And so they tried to maintain this balancing act for a while, but then the mid-70s, it all just fell apart and all those racists went over to the Republican Party, which became the home of racism, with this thing of the go, well, no, we're not racist because Abraham Lincoln, also shot dead. He was a guy. He was a Republican. It's the progressives seem to get shot dead a lot more than the fucking lunatic fucking war hawks. Go home, Google, you're drunk. You can use extendable tree pruning shears to remove the flags. However, the flag shaggers are now using metal strapping to attach the flags. Yeah, Chris, I've got tree pruning shears. Just saying I've got them. I'm not saying I've used them, but I've got them. And they're quite good as well to use. But yeah, the carpet trick is probably the best one. In fact, if you've got some gardening shears, telescopic gardening shears, you can just put the tape on that and use that as your pole. The best pasties are from Ivor Judeny's Bakeries. Cool. I don't think we should call Farage the $6 million man. They'll love it. But we could call him the $6 million scam. Do you like that? Come on. You want me on your advertising team. Right. Anyway, so the Labour's biggest problem. Right. Yeah. Two audiences, one party. They need to get the pro-EU, socially liberal, younger, urban Labour voters. And also they need to get the older, working class, leave voting constituencies where every fucker's doing very well at the moment. Burnham needs both of those constituents in his constituency to come together and give him a glorious whole. He's in need of a glorious whole. This is going to be difficult. He needs Labour members if there's going to be a leadership contest, but he needs Makerfield residents if he's going to win the by-election. And Streeting's intervention here has sort of strengthened, it's highlighted, sharpened the contradiction at the heart of modern Labour, which is they're trying to please two diametrically opposed parties at once. If Burnham sounds too cautious on Europe, members may think that he is triangulating. If he sounds too pro EU, I guess, Reform are going to batter him in fucking Makerfield. And this is why this by-election is rather dangerous. It compresses Labour's entire identity crisis into one campaign. And Farage will be delighted by what Streeting said. He can now say that Labour wants to reverse Brexit. Burnham is hiding his true views. Streeting has said the quiet part out loud. He can say that Starmer is weak, Labour is divided, blah, 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 blah. Only refuck can speak for the Leave voters. And, it's nonsense in policy terms because Brexit has objectively failed to deliver what it was promised. But as a campaign message, it's kind of simple. Just like the people who voted for Farage all these years, whatever Farage told them to vote, they would vote. He told them to vote for UKIP, so they voted for UKIP. He told them to vote for Brexit, they voted for Brexit. He told them to vote for the Brexit Party, they voted for the Brexit Party. He told them to vote for the Conservatives in 2019, so they voted for the fucking Conservatives. They voted for Boris fucking Johnson. They just do what they're told by the anointed one, by Nigel Farage. And Farage is so dangerous. He's the most dangerous man in this country by a mile. And the thing is, the Labour Party will survive Starmer. The Tory party will survive Kemi Badenoch. The Greens will survive without Zach Polanski. The Lib Dems will survive without Ed Davey. The refuck will not survive without Farage. Just like MAGA won't survive without Trump in America. It just won't. And also, and Kemi Badenoch has waded into this. She's it's a bit of an interesting attack line because I don't know if they can go too hard into the Brexit line. Because obviously Farage is big on grievance politics, so Streeting's just handed him something to say, it's a betrayal, they're going to betray us, we're going to be betrayed, we're going to be stabbed in the back. Do you know who else said they were stabbed in the back? The Nazis. They used it to justify the Holocaust. Just saying. Whenever you hear someone talking about, we were stabbed in the back, stabbed in the back we were. Ain't that about the last leader of Labour? I mean, fuck's sake, 50 people in his fucking cabinet, in junior ministers, his shadow cabinet, shadow junior ministers, shadow PPEs. They all fucking resigned. They all fucking resigned in the wake of the Brexit referendum that Labour lost, technically. They didn't stab him in the back. They stabbed him in the front. They stabbed him all over the shop in full view of everyone. Just said, oh, fuck this guy. We don't want him leading us. And yet he rambled on for another 3 years and 2 catastrophic election defeats. Anyway, Kemi Badenoch's gone down a different route. She's talking about how he's not had to make national decisions, right? He's just a regional mayor. He's not had to make national decisions. And you're like, yes, he has. He was part of the government. He was part of the Blair government. He was a minister in the Blair government. So, like, her argument just, like a lot of things Kemi Badenoch says, just makes no sense. They're saying like he's all vibes. He's got no money. He's not one of us moneyed elite. He didn't go to private school. He's a Scouser. Or he's born in Liverpool. At least he grew up in Newton and Willows, which is like halfway between Manchester and Liverpool. So it's half and half. He's like chips and rice. But yeah, he's the question really for Burnham right now is he has to answer this for the people of Makerfield. Is like, why should Makerfield voters put their trust in him? Not like Labour generally, but him. But his counter to that is he understands Greater Manchester. He understands the land in which he lives in the Northwest. He has executive experience. He's not tainted by the Westminster bullshit of everyone else in the Labour Party who's in Westminster. He has name recognition. He can speak to voters that Labour has lost, and he can argue for jobs, public control, and local pride. And yeah, I just think, the question for Streeting has to be, if you think that Labour or Britain should rejoin, well, Labour should campaign to rejoin the EU. If you think Britain should rejoin the EU one day, fine, make that argument. But why make that the headline just as Labour's fighting the Brexit party in a Leave voting seat? And he says, because Labour needs honesty, which is like, oh, come on. fuck off. Oh, I'm just being honest. You know, someone says something really fucking horrible to you, and they go, I'm just being honest. Like that's some kind of defense for just being horrible. No, you're not being honest. You're giving us your opinion, right? And timing is everything. If someone says to you, here's my book that I've just written, I've just spent 2 years writing this book. Can you read through it and tell me if there are any typos? And you give it back to them and go, that was shit. I hated it. I hated every fucking bit. And you're just like, okay, I wasn't asking for a review. If I was asking for a review, I would have said, can you review this book for me? I asked you to look for some typos. Did you spot any typos? No, I didn't spot any typos. Thanks for that. But yeah, Labour needs honesty. But the reality is that Burnham gets damaged and Streeting benefits. That's the reality. And this is the thing about politics. It's not just what you say. It's when you say it, where you say it, who gets damaged by it. And Burnham just needs to win. I don't care if he wins narrowly. I don't care if he wins big. He just needs to win this. The nightmare scenario is Burnham losing because Refuck will crow from the fucking hilltops, the hillsides, about how awesome they are because they beat Labour in their own backyard. They tore down the red wall. People don't want Brexit. They do want Brexit, even though it's terrible. Even though Brexit hasn't worked. Words that Nigel Farage said himself, because he's a fucking chameleon. He just changes his tune depending on who the audience is, just like Trump. Starmer would stay on probably as leader for the next couple of years. If I can't, Streeting could mount a leadership challenge, but I think the mood music is this: if Burnham wins and then he runs for leadership challenges for leadership, I don't think that Starmer's going to put up a fight. I really don't. I think he's just going to step aside. This is my predictions, right? If Burnham loses and Streeting's like, now is my opportunity, I think that Starmer will run against Streeting, and I think that Starmer will win. Because Streeting has not covered himself in glory, and there's a lot of people in Labour right now who are kind of pissed with him for upsetting the apple cart, really, making Labour kind of derailing a lot of plans that Labour had. Labour would look sort of trapped between an unpopular prime minister and the only viable alternative at this moment would be a failure. And Farage would say that Refuck has broken Labour in its own heartlands. That's pretty bad. So this isn't really a story about rejoining the EU. We can do a video about that another day. I'd like to tell you all the reasons why we should. There's lots of them. There's hundreds of them. Probably thousands of them. Well, I'll say there's probably about 1 trillion reasons why we should rejoin the EU. 1 trillion, which is, as I said the other day, if you want to understand the true scale of these numbers, if you want to say a million, if you want to say a billion instead, say 1,000,000 1,000 times, right? See you in a couple of hours when you finish doing that. If you want to say 1 trillion, say a million times. It will take you 11.5 days if you don't sleep or eat or say anything else or drink. So you'll die. You'd literally die trying to say how many millions are in 1 trillion. And that's how much Brexit has cost us thus far. And it's going to cost us more going forward. And this is not really a story about rejoining the EU. It's not about the European Union. It's not about Europe. This is a story about timing and ambition and trust. Streeting might be right about Brexit. I think he is, but he's chosen the most explosive moment to make that argument. And I think that is really shitty of him. I really do. I think he's a fucking dickhead for doing this. I didn't like him in the first place because of his stance on trans rights and his getting rid of stopping trans children from getting their hands on puberty blockers when cisgender children can have them. I do feel like Streeting has thrown a Brexit-shaped brick through Burnham's campaign fucking window, and we'll go over to the newspapers now and just have a look at these front covers here. Look at this. Backlash over Brexit betrayal. Burnham retreats on push to rejoin EU. That like Burnham was what's his name? That dickhead. What's his name? that little person. What's his name? Streeting. Streeting must be loving this. He must be loving this. Burnham's allies accuse Streeting of sabotage. Burnham facing perilous race in Crunch by-election. Streeting will stand for PM on pledge to rejoin the EU. Not all voters are not fools and deserve honesty. This is Farage saying that they deserve honesty. The most dishonest man in the history of British politics is saying that we need honesty. Okay, that's ironic. We've got UK faces summer in limbo. We've got another picture of Andy Burnham out for a run because that's a thing that they do. Burnham, I'll get rid of VAR. Okay, that's so fucking random. All right, let's go through the papers properly. But yeah, that's over. Will sudden repulsion syndrome spell the end of your marriage? Probably. That's also known as the ick. Once you get the ick. Backlash over Brexit betrayal. Gove blasts Streeting and Burnham in Mail article. And Kemi says Labour clowns couldn't negotiate with the EU. Really? Really, Kemi? Tell us about your great trade deals that you guys summoned up when you were in charge. That great trade deal. Do you remember the one we got with Malawi? Was it Malawi? It's fantastic. It added the whole 0.000000001% to our GDP in 27 years. Time. Anyway, Burnham retreats on push to join EU. As I was talking about today, Labour leadership contender distanced himself from previous calls after backlash caused by Streeting. And then we've got the outfit that goes from bed to bedroom. Tantra Mantra saved our sex life. Okay, cool. We've got Kate Blanchett there. Gladriel. She being wearing a galad rags. And then we've got parents face jail if they cannot steer children from crime. Fair enough. Do you know what I mean? They're your kids. I know kids can be horrible, and but you can at least show that you've done something to try and stop them doing terrible things. If you do nothing to stop them doing terrible things, then yeah, I think you should be culpable for that. Councils hand out blue badge privileges for ADHD. Councils are handing out blue badges to drivers with anxiety and ADHD, despite rising fears of overdiagnosis. Yeah, just having a go at the ADHD crowd there for some reason. Chancellor to scrap fuel duty increase. Cut price coffees, but only if you're in Lycra. Ukraine unleashes big attack on Moscow, which ended in, it showed that no one in Russia is safe. No one's safe in Russia because of Vladimir Putin's imperialistic, aggressive war of aggression. UK growth crushed by highest property taxes. We have got Burnham's allies accused Streeting of sabotage there. We've got Chancellor puts brakes on 5p fuel duty rise. Property tax pain. YHS2 derailed. Tories. Putin's new target. Ukraine's ethnic Hungarian minority living in the Zakarpattia region are in the Kremlin's line of fire after Petra Magyar's election victory last month. Ooh, we've got David Faulkner here. Thank you very much for the 38 Hong Kongian dollars. Excellent video, Femi attending Tommy 10 Names March, showing empathy towards Farage apologists. Very important work if we're going to try and win him back. Yeah, honestly, Femi's my hero. He just goes straight in. Like Femi goes to this far right march, and you're like, bloody hell, Femi, you know. Jesus. It's a really, really good video if you can check it out if you follow Femi here on YouTube or on the other, what's the thing called, TikTok. I think his handle is at Femi Sorry. But we'll try and get him onto the Sunday Night Social next Sunday so we can talk about his experiences this weekend. Kylie on Michael. Kylie with In Excess star Hutchings in 1990. Michael Hutchins, who died of a strangle wank. Oh, please don't do that. After 35 years, Mum Kerry devastated as police tell her investigation is over. That's awful. That is absolutely fucking awful. Yeah, I mean, like I've said before, losing a kid is fucking horrific. Not knowing what's happened is pain beyond measure. You never have closure. You can never have closure. Miss Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £5. I still prefer the pre-1980s, billions, trillions, etc. Then a billion was a million, a trillion was a million, million. Yeah, I know, but then you're going into the realms of such big numbers. it's I understand why you thought that was actually a trillion should have been a billion anyway. Well, then it makes sense, doesn't it? A tri-million is three millions. Yeah, okay, I get that. But yeah, that they call it like the long form now, do they? The long form. I mean, I think some mathematicians still use it that way, but I think in everyday life, you would hardly ever use a trillion for a million, but you would, and you would use billions kind of sparingly. Maybe when you're talking about the GDP of a country. Burnham facing perilous race in Crunch by-election. WHO chief declares emergency over Ebola outbreak. This is the Ebola outbreak that's kicked off in Congo, which is a public health emergency of international concern in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is awful. But it's interesting, isn't it, that every time, of all places this has happened. I mean, it's awful, right? Don't get me wrong, but there's not that many people who have died from it, and although it could spread, not to worry. But the fact that like Congo 27 years ago had a horrific war, 2 wars actually. It's the first Congolese war and the second Congolese war, in which over 10 million people were killed, and it never even got in the fucking newspapers for most people. Most people never even heard of it. Anyway, have you noticed how they spell Ebola with a capital E? That's because Ebola is named after, I think, a river. I think it was the river. So it's like Nile River fever, whatever it's called. So it actually gets a capital. Now you know. But yes, the Iron newspaper. But yeah, so yeah, the point I was trying to make there. The point I was going to make is that we only seem to care about things like people dying in Africa, especially in Central Africa, in places like Democratic Republic of Congo. We only seem to give a shit about it when we fear that it might affect us. And that's why every time a disease outbreak somewhere like Democratic Republic of Congo or in Nigeria or somewhere in Africa, it gets so covered by the news. It is huge news all over the world. Oh my God, look at this, look at this, look at this. Because of the fear that disease might not stay where it is and transfer itself into the wider population is something that could affect us. Whereas a civil war raging in some countries in Africa is generally ignored. I don't know why you hardly hear anything about what's happening in Sudan at the moment. I'm not saying they shouldn't report on this stuff. I'm just saying there's an imbalance. There is a definite imbalance. An African dying an unnecessary and violent death, in one respect, isn't news. Whereas an African dying in a way that might end up killing people from Europe, big news. Anyway, so moving on. Streeting will stand for PM on pledge to rejoin the EU. Starmer spent the weekend at Chequers considering his future. Like I said, if Burnham wins this election, I don't think he's going to put much of a fight. UK dementia care delays revealed with 6-month wait for diagnosis. And the house that Mike built, it was idyllic, and then the drug gangs moved in. That sounds like the story of like every kind of anarchist or libertarian utopia, isn't it? It was idyllic, and then the drug dealers moved in. Daily Express. Macker plays it for laugh in TV comedy sketch. Plays it for laugh in TV comedy sketch. 4 pages of brilliant puzzles inside. Farage tells open borders Burnham by-election as battle over Brexit betrayal. Voters are not fools and deserve honesty. Nigel Farage has claimed that Andy Burnham will betray Brexit voters as he positions himself for power. Which is exactly what I said he was going to say. UK faces summer in limbo. Fears Labour leadership crisis will not be decided until autumn. It's all froth, says Nandy before branding Brexit U-turn odd. Ties the limit. Harry wins over fans ahead of epic Wembley run. This is Harry Styles, who's going to be playing about bloody 14 dates at Wembley next month, which is very exciting if you're a big Harry Styles fan. If you're not, I don't think you're going to care. Guilty Pleasures. We've got our man who did Look Mum, No Computer. That was the name of the song for Eurovision, and it was a bit shit, and he only got 1 point. And that was a pity. That was a pity point that was given to him by Ukraine. But by the way, it was given to him by the Ukrainian jury, not by the voters, not by the voting public. The Daily Star here. Burnham, I'll get rid of VAR. It's kicking off. Politician and sensible decisions. Shock. Labour leader and wannabe and Everton fan Andy Burnham reckons if it was up to him, he would ban VAR in football, which is blamed for a lot of things. But yeah, we'll head over to the Financial Times. We don't need to have an advert for fucking Starling. Ebola strain, WHO declares emergency. We've spoken about that already. Burnham plays down rejoining EU as Labour battle reopens Brexit wounds. We talked about that. Trump Jr. venture firm touts patriotic capitalism after assets surge to $3.5 billion. Patriotic capitalism. Fucking Donald Trump Jr.'s venture capital firm is building an investment empire around patriotic capitalism in the latest effort by an entity tied to the president's family to capitalize on his America First agenda. Unbelievable. Imagine if it was the Democrats doing this. Birmingham left in limbo as multi-party politics falters. Fuck off, Starling. And then we've got government step in as Iran energy crunch looms. This is in the small thing here. Dozens of countries have brought in emergency measures to protect their economies around the world as the world approaches a more dangerous phase as the energy crisis driven by the Iran war, when oil prices could jump sharply. Gulf trade accord nears. Oil-rich Gulf states are close to finalising a long-awaited deal that would offer some rare good news for Keir Starmer's government, according to 3 people familiar with the negotiation. We've got a call for tech education. Too many young people are being pushed to university rather than technical education. I don't see it as an either or, okay? It's not a zero-sum game, all right? If you're good at technical stuff, you're good at engineering, you're good at building stuff, fucking do that. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be a case of we've got to stop these people going to university so they can do these technical things instead. It should be, if you want to go to university because you're good at academic shit, then do that. If you're into reciting sonnets by Shakespeare, or you're into doing some scientific research, go to university. But if you want to actually build shit with your hands, go get a technical qualification. Rutte rallies arms makers. NATO Secretary General there, Mark Rutte, will push European defence groups to raise investment production. Great, more war, more money for the what they call the masters of destruction. Anyway, we've got Zelensky there. Justifies strikes. The Ukrainian president has said long-range drone strikes that killed 3 in the Moscow region were entirely justified after Kyiv was battered by rockets from Russia last week, which resulted in the death of over a dozen people, including 3 children. We've got Bain fund raises 10.5 billion. EU to cut China reliance. Good idea. Brussels is drawing up plans to force European companies to buy critical components from at least 3 separate different suppliers in a bid to reduce the bloc's reliance on China in key sectors. And then we've got $400 billion US utility plan. Power company Next Era Energy in talks to combine rival Dominion in a tie-up that will create a $400 billion plus giant at a time of booming demand to service AI fucking data centers. Apparently, we're getting loads of data centers in the UK that are going to be gas powered, which is going to absolutely fucking knock our push for green energy off its fucking perch. I'll tell you that now. Here's the list. The Gavin's channel from Diz. There you go. Thank you very much. The worry is that Ebola mutates and becomes more easily transmissible. It may not be likely, but it's better than to be careful. Yeah, I'm not saying there shouldn't report on it. My problem is that whenever something like this happens in Africa, there is a lot of focus on it, whereas there isn't a focus ever on African conflicts that are killing thousands of people every day. We hardly hear about them. Have you not seen the movie Outbreak? It's bloody mutated to become airborne in that movie. Could potentially happen in real life, and then we are fucked. I love that movie. I saw that at the cinema, and they had this great scene where all the people in the cinema are contracting this disease in the cinema while you're watching the movie in the cinema, which is a great bit of immersive filmmaking. along with Gremlins 2, where the movie. I saw Gremlins 2 at the cinema, and it doesn't really work on VHS tape, but there's a part of the movie when it goes off it goes off the projector, the film burns away, and then it's replaced with Gremlins, which are supposed to be up in the projector booth, and they're making like little shadow hand things, and laughing and going it's a lot of fun. It's like, because we were watching it at the time, and you're like, because it did happen. You went to the cinema, and sometimes the film just fucking stopped because the projectionist fucked up or something like that. So to see the film sort of burning off, getting stuck and then burning off, it's like, what's going on? Yeah, very good. Immersive. Sean, my programmers with degrees were a nightmare. The best were all self-taught bedroom coders. Never said anything was impossible, where the grads would have just been not possible. Yeah, true. I found the Gavin person already, but thanks, Diz. Gavin. And what else have we got? What else have we got in the chat? We got the Milliard wants a word. Yep, the Milliard. That's another term, isn't it, for stuff like that. The try because the third order, as in bi-million, is 2, and quadrillion and quintillion and sextrillion and then septrillion and then octrillion, non-trillion, is it? Non-trillion for 9? Non? Is that right? Anyway. And decillion Murphy. Anyway, many economists use milliard for 1,000 million. Milliard! Cuthbert is an Irish comic who does funny shorts. Type in Gavin in search of bring him to you. Ebola was named after the Ebola River, which was close to the first identified case in 1976. Told you. I'm not completely full of shit, What else have we got in here? Gas-powered sounds so fucking Victorian. It does, doesn't it? That's why it's like gas-powered, because it just sounds like some awful steampunk fucking film. It was the same with the hantavirus. Very hard to transmit between people, but they just weren't saying it. Like all RNA viruses, Ebola can mutate. Well, everything can mutate. Everything can mutate. Sean, my programming... I've read that one. Outbreak's director made some other great films like Das Boot and In the Line of Fire. Yeah, was it Wolfgang Petersen? Did he make Outbreak? Was that Wolfgang Petersen? What else did he make? Did he make Master and Commander? Was that Peter Weir? Master and Commander. Let's get that mixed up. It's Peter Weir. Peter Weir, who also made Gallipoli and Picnic at Hanging Rock and Witness. That was a Peter Weir film. Peter Weir is a fucking fantastic film director. He's 81 years old now. He made Dead Poets Society as well, and The Truman Show. The Truman Show. That's probably what his most famous film was. Year of Living Dangerously, which was back when it was okay to think Mel Gibson was all right. Isn't the case these days. Not the case these days. But yeah, Outbreak's a great movie with Dustin Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman? Did he make Outbreak? Did he make Outbreak? I'm looking up his films here. The Carter 8 Paris, that was one of his first. Picnic at Hanging Rock is fucking fantastic. I don't think he made Outbreak. I don't think that was him. Outbreak. Outbreak. Yeah, was Wolfgang Petersen, was it? Yeah, it was Wolfgang. Wolfgang. Yeah, I like Wolfgang. Das Boot. I mean, Jesus Christ, that is the most claustrophobic film I've ever fucking watched. Jesus Christ! If you have a kid and they're like, when I grow up, I want to be I want to go down in the submarine. Show them Das Boot and they'll be like, oh, fuck that shit. I mean, fuck that shit. They will not want to go anywhere near a submarine. In the same way that if you don't want your kid to do ballet, show them Black Swan. Yeah, not doing ballet after that. I made Outbreak, not the film. Lol. Wolfgang Petersen's still alive as well. Oh, no, he's not. Damn. No, he died in 2022. Oh, that's sad. He made Troy. That wasn't very good. Never Ending Story. Sebastian. The Perfect Storm in 2000. They all died. Sorry, spoilers. In the Line of Fire. That was great. Air Force One. Get Off My Plane. That's a fantastic film. He made a remake of the Poseidon Adventure. That wasn't very good. Enemy Mine. He made Enemy Mine. Oh my God. Loved that film as a kid. It's about two people. One's a human and one's an alien. And they've got to learn to get along in order to overcome living. They're fighting a war and they both crash land on the same planet. And they've got to help each other out in order to get off the planet. Really good film. Got Dennis Quaid in. Hasn't he gone mad? Was it Dennis Quaid who's gone mad? He's turned into a big Trumper. He's all Trumpy now. He's all Trumpy and weird. Or am I getting him mixed up with somebody else? I don't know. Let's see. Dennis Quaid, Trump. He's gone candid about being a Donald Trump supporter in Hollywood. You know, I'm just supporting a genocidal maniac who starts wars on the other side of the planet and, you know, has his goons go out and shoot like Americans dead on the street, you know, for looking at them funny. But, you know, we should definitely have more of that. You know, I don't know why people don't like me. We had a German friend, Rudy, and he was in the German subs during the war. He was captured willingly twice and sent to Scotland. Wow. Faves, loved Dead Calm. After the film, read the book and The Garden in the Middle of a Heat Wave. Yes. Did you do Dead Calm as well? With, what's her name? Nicole Kidman. She was in Dead Calm. Was that him? He did Das Boot, the director's cut, which is nice. Did he do Dead Calm? Did he? Who did Dead Calm? Dead Calm. No, was that one of Peter Weir's? No, because it was 1989. He would have been doing Dead Poets, wouldn't he? That was Philip Noyce. Nice one. He's an Aussie. He's an Aussie as well. Peter Weir's an Aussie. Wolfgang Petersen's a German. He's not an Aussie. Nice one. He did Patriot Games, Clear and Present Danger. Rabbit Proof Fence, which I actually saw. I watched that in Queensland in Australia, and it was like, oh, yeah. Dead Calm, great film. The Salt, not a good film. Bone Collector, not a good film. Slither, really not a good film. I thought it was Joel Silver. Oh well, there you go. Maybe he wrote it. Slither, 21% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh no, Joel Silver didn't direct it. It's just that Slither is very close to Silver in its spelling. But yeah, isn't that about voyeurism? Like the guy owns an apartment and he watches everyone in his apartment. Very strange. Seeing Hulk Hogan trying to rip off his shirt at Trump's rallies was just sad. But he's dead now, so you know, oh well. I mean, you know, people got sad. No, they didn't get sad. No one gave a fuck. You know when Charlie Kirk died, yeah? And your mileage may vary on this one, but let's not forget that his organization, Turning Point US, right, did actually platform Carl Rittenhouse, shithouse, who went to another state with a assault rifle and shot black people dead on the streets and got away with it. Platform someone who you know, the sort of 21st century equivalent of hangings, you know, of hanging black people. He did that and got away with it, and they platformed him. Here you go. Here's how you solve all your problems with violence and guns and murder. So no, wasn't sad about him being dispatched off to the Quime Invisible. Well, hell for him. They're dispatched off to the fiery lakes of shit in the lower levels of Hades, in the Tartarus region of hell. I repeat, Graham should play Subnautica. Oh, Jesus Christ, all right. Keep your hair on, one angry pagan. Fucking play this game or I'll kill you. Oh, okay, then I'll play the game. Oh no, that was Scanners. That was another great movie. Scanners, wasn't that that was Cronenberg, wasn't it? David Cronenberg, who's Canadian, I think. Scanners, is that the famous one with the guy's head explode? And at the time I was like, oh my God, I've never seen someone's head explode before. Whereas if you watch The Boys, you see someone's head explode every week. Submariners are a special type of crazy to be enclosed in a metal tube with 100 plus other men under the ocean surface for up to 90 days, takes balls of titanium. Yeah. And if you're not gay, I suppose you'll come out with blue balls of titanium. Sean, the more specialised the degree, the less likely you are to get a job, as the job market is moving so fast, and this is a guaranteed jobby. We've got Chris there saying, same at McDonald's, you used to be able to progress from one crew member up to managerial positions. Now you have to be shift manager or above. You need a freaking degree. That's crazy. Streeting, backing Streeting. into a off the cliff. So a degree in anything, surely it must be a degree in something relevant to the job. Does it? Does it? The film The Descent triggers me claustrophobia. Oh yeah, that's a good movie. Except I didn't like the end. Did not like the end of that movie. But you know, Graham should play Celeste. Oh my god! Right, can I finish Monkey Island first? The Charlie Kirk trial evidence is full of holes. 2 of his confessions were posted online when he was in custody, with no internet access. Yeah, but you can set things to go online afterwards, can't you? I do that. Graham should play Frost. If you are watching this, I have been arrested. Graham should play Frost. It's like recommendations for video. When did I say I wanted recommendations for video games? Recommendations for movies, new movies. Apparently there's a new Guy Ritchie movie out and it's shite. Apparently it's absolute shite alight. Apparently it's absolute fucking dog dirt. It's called like The Grey Zone or something like that. Great name, Guy. Guy Ritchie pretends to be fucking Cockney. Oh, look at me, love a duck. Oh, jelly deals. Woo, pearly queens, pearly kings. Whoa, dog and eel, penny and bone. No, he's actually privately educated. Guy Ritchie's very, very, very posh, and that's why they let him make movies. Yeah, there's no updates really. I don't think in the last few minutes. Starmer has tried to reset relations with how Starmer. So that's nothing new. The Reeves could ditch a planned dual Footy increase, which they probably will do actually. And yeah, there's nothing on the BBC here that we haven't. There's nothing. There's nothing but except 909 update says Brexit back in the spotlight. That's it. Andy Burnham reveals what people told him at Everton versus Sunderland. We've not heard from Andy Burnham today, but Greater Manchester did a tweet last night after watching the Everton-Sunderland match, with Everton lost 1-3. He thanks everyone who came up to speak to me today. Yeah, Everton haven't won a match since March. I think we've only got 1 match left now. Graham should play chess. Oh my god. Okay, get on with it. Get on with it, Graham. Graham should play croquet. Crochet. Isn't that a type of knitting? Are you telling me to go knitting? Has it ever left the spotlight? No, not really. Not really. It's always been there lurking like a bog troll in the corner. Give me money. I want to eat all your money. At the gay bar. No, different song. Sorry. Graham should play Twister. Yeah, all right. You don't want me to land on you though. Seriously. Better not got a free ticket. Yeah, to the footy. It's quite. I mean, the fact that Everton built a new stadium and they didn't build it big enough for all the people who want to go and watch the match is really fucking frustrating. It's like, for God's sake, we don't want any empty seats. Just build it a bit bigger. It's fine. There's loads of Everton fans. I watch a few gamer YouTube channels. All are ARC YouTubers, but I've recently been playing Subnautica 2. Graham should play Truth or Dare. Oh no, I'm terrible at that. Do you know what I'm terrible at? Never Have I Ever. You know whenever I play Never Have I Ever, I get drunk so quick because like every time it's like, oh, never have I ever, and then they'll say something, and then whoever has done that thing has to take a drink. Yeah, you play that game? Fuck, I'm so shit at it. I'm so shit at it. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, Graham, what the fuck is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I just well travelled, I guess." I just don't like saying that. No, I'm just a people pleaser. Marina Perkis in last night's show brought up the topic about I keep banging on about right-wing comms propaganda winner, newspaper headlines on newspaper racks in every shop and supermarkets, definite vote winner. Yeah, I agree. They should make them smaller to make artificial scarcity, so they charge £50 a match. They make them smaller to make artificial scarcity, so they can charge £50 a match. Yeah. Which is, shit. But yeah, I'm much more likely to go to Goodison and watch the women's team play because at least I can get a ticket for that. Lammy has likened Brexit speculation to sixth form debate. I like Lammy. He's all right. But I'm a bit surprised that Keir Starmer didn't just grasp the nettle and make Angela Rayner his deputy PM again. Never have I ever versus me, Graham. You think you get drunk? Kate was hard to beat. What Mario Kart is he playing tonight? The SNES one, original and best. Are you talking about me? You don't have to talk. You can talk to me direct. You can ask me like what Mario Kart. I was gonna finish off Monkey Island. Well, it depends. I'll talk to Scott and see if he wants to come on, and we'll talk about American politics. Because I mean, Trump's trip to America was fucking. Trump's trip to America. Trump's trip to China was absolutely fucking bonkers, off the chart, fucking bonkers. I mean, you had you had President Xi making reference to a situation where an old power cedes its power to an emerging power, right? And Trump just didn't understand this at all. He just didn't get it. And he responded like just going, oh, he's a great guy, this Xi guy, he's a great guy. We're going to make some great deals. We're going to do all this great stuff. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, we're going to do all this very cool stuff. And Xi is just, he cannot suppress his smirk as his translators telling him what Trump is coming out with. He's just, I can't believe me. Look, I'm dealing with a fucking idiot. Like when a mark comes into a used car place, and don't tell me they don't do this when there's especially sexist. If a woman turns up in a Fiat Punto with save the whales stickers all over it, they're gonna rip her off. They'll be like this. She doesn't know anything about cars. Well, and the face on Chi was like almost the same fucking glee, just the glee, of like, what the fuck? He's standing there going, yeah, America's fucked. And Trump's like, I love you. Like, I think someone's getting lost in the translation here, mate. Did we get a troll? Oh, I love getting a troll. I didn't get to read what they said. Oh, well, anyway, here you go. Bye, idiot troll. You can't write anything anymore. But what you can do is you can watch. You can watch, but you can't take part. Nice one. And trolls, they will never learn. Yeah. But yeah, make sure they're being trolls. I can't see what the people were saying. I used to be able to just click on it and see what they actually wrote. Can't do that anymore. Oh well. Anyway, thank you to my mods, my moderators. You rock, you mods. Wes looked in the mirror and asked, "What bullshit can I come up with that will get me noticed?" Having disregarded the opinion of painting himself with luminous paint, he decides he should go with rejoin Brexit. Rejoin Brexit? You mean rejoin the EU? Just like Britain and the EU. I wouldn't mind so much if troll messages actually made sense. Yeah. I mean, these are people who can't spell their own names correctly, so not much down for them. Hey, listen, if you get another two super chats, I will do a Boba Fetty before I go. You will get a Boba Fetty before I go. So you got a few more minutes if you would like to make that happen, if you want to see that happen. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go over to the Guardian website. So there's any updates over here before I go to talk about how to become emotionally mature at any age. I think that men could do with learning how to become emotionally mature. I think a lot of men are stuck in the age of, they have the emotional maturity of a 12-year-old. Most of the people in politics seem to have that around the world at the moment. Trump is warning that the clock is ticking for Iran to reach a peace deal. He said there won't be anything left of the country if it doesn't come to an agreement. All right, Taco Man. Whatever you say. Didn't you say you were going to bomb them back to the Stone Age? How did that happen? Did that work? No, they made a load of Lego videos and made fun of you. Useless prick. There's a bond market rout deepens as investors fear stagnationary shock over oil prices, over higher oil prices. That's not good. Bond market rout deepens as inflation keeps rising. The bond market is doing its traditional job of intimidating governments and investors as fears of an inflation shock from the Iran war grow. The bond sell-off that gripped the market last week has continued this morning, driving up government's cost of borrowing from Tokyo to Washington, D.C. With the Strait of Hormuz still largely closed, the prospect of a lengthy period of shortages of oil and gas would push up the cost of energy, transport, and food. That prospect is growing. Last Friday, the global government borrowing costs soared, with the yield, or interest rate, on Japan's 30-year bond hitting 4% for the first time. As an analysis at ING put it, first, even if the war were to end tomorrow, energy prices may not fall as far as many expect. Significant down draws in oil inventories are likely to keep upward pressure on prices for some time yet. Second, natural gas prices currently look too low. There is meaningful upside risk that the disruptions persist into the third quarter, particularly as competition intensifies between Asia and European buyers for LNG. It's a reminder that, for all the political noise, energy prices will remain the dominant force for central banks. That's why we're expecting rate hikes from the Bank of England and European Central Bank in June, and why we no longer expect a Federal Reserve cut until December. So Trump's put his own man in as head of the Fed to try and get interest rate cuts, and because of his war in Iran, it's not going to happen. The irony! The rods and the mockers. I like that. Graham, considering you muted me and called me a troll, I really don't appreciate bullying back at them. Be better than them. Who called Hilgara a troll? Hilgara's not a troll. Yeah, maybe don't any regulars, please don't jump on them if they say something that you disagree with, because they might be making a joke. You never know. It might just be a joke saying, "Ha, Graham, you're a twat," and I'm like, "Oh, you." Yeah, so that's not good, is it? That's not good. We got like 4 or 5 live things on there. We've got the UK politics live, Lammy's interview this morning. We've got Middle East crisis live. We've got business live. We've got Europe live. Europe should pick negotiator for possible Russian talks, says Zelensky. That'll be good. And Ryanair confident it will avoid jet fuel shortage, but warns of future fare rises. Not really great. Not really good. Not really good at all, my friends. Not very good. Mods are very singular. Rockers have more genetic variation. Indeed. Is the far right driving a Christian revival in the UK? Yeah, because Jesus was a massive racist, wasn't he? It's not even Christianity. It's the fucking Democratic Church of America. That's what it is. It is. There's a story here about drones reshaping war in Colombia, and this is about drones being used by militias and drug dealers in Medellin and other places in Colombia. That's really bad. Yeah, the use of drones is getting a bit worrisome. So we got a Makerfield by-election forecast here. We have got with Burnham, we're looking at Labour getting 45% of the vote and Refuck getting 42% of the vote. Without Burnham, Refuck would get 53% and Labour would get 27%. And this is why we can't really look at what happened in Gorton and Denton as any kind of to give us some idea what's going to happen here, because it's a very, very different kettle of fish once Burnham is involved. Saz, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Press the right button, there, super chat. We could end up in a mad situation with drones, mutually assured destruction. Well, I don't know. They're not big enough. But yeah, I suppose you've got enough of them. Jesus Christ. They didn't build a freaking car park either. Okay, here we go. Rayner, this is news. Rayner rejected offer from number 10 to replace Streeting as health secretary. Ooh, the plot thickens. Angela Rayner was asked by number 10 last week if she would like to replace Wes Streeting as health secretary. Rayner's team was contacted by number 10 on Thursday after Streeting left the government with an extraordinary resignation letter in which he condemned the Prime Minister's lack of vision and the drift of the government. Starmer has repeatedly said he wanted to return to his cabinet, and the settling of a dispute with HMRC cleared the path back to frontline politics. However, a government source that Rayner's allies made clear during discussions on Thursday afternoon that she would not be interested in returning to Starmer's cabinet. Starmer and Rayner did not directly discuss the proposal with each other at the time, said. Interesting. And Martin Harrow there says for L, just for the L of it. Haha, super chat, which means that we have triggered Boba Fetty. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for the Boba Fetty? Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Boba Fetty! I'm Boba Fett. Oh, yes, I'm going to come and kidnap the guy. What's his name? Han Solo. And case him in carbonite, motherfucker. So yeah, enjoy your Boba Fetty. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind. Very, very kind. Anyway, listen, try not to take it too seriously. You know, as they say in the lyrics of Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, you know, you will see it's all a show. Keep them laughing as you go. Anyway, so I'll be back tonight at 9 o'clock, either with me playing Monkey Island on Come Play With Me, or we might do an episode of Stateside with Scott Williams, but we'll have to see how Scott is feeling. Yeah, where is Solo? Where is Solo? Boba Fetty. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this morning. Thank you so much for the super chats. Everyone's been very generous this morning. Thank you so much. It's very, very kind of you. And you keep this channel afloat. Keep my head just above water. Keep the bailiffs from the door. Thank you. Genuinely. I don't have to sell the few things that I actually own in life, like I don't know, this copy of The Private Eye. Yeah, thank you for watching. Before you go, if you could do me a little bit of a favor, you know, give us a like. Give me a like. We always like a like. And also, if you would care to subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. And if you are subscribed, hit the bell notification icon so you'll know when we're going live. Sorry about asking all your guests for their autographs. No, don't have to apologise. I'll try and get all of their signatures together. It's better when I'm actually there with them to actually get something together. So maybe I'll do another trip down to London. If I run into people, I can get stuff signed for you. Yes, what about agenda? Oh, thanks for the reminder, SG. Yes, agenda at 1 o'clock today. Jeez, I keep forgetting. Agenda in a couple of hours' time. Me and Phil, and we are going to be talking. I guess we're going to be talking about Labour, aren't we? There's not much other things to talk about. Be interested to get Phil's take on developments in Labour over the last week and what he thinks they should do going forward. And I don't know, maybe we can have another row about Streeting and whether he's a massive fucking transphobe, which he is. He totally is. He just is. Anyway, it takes all sorts. OnlyFans. Woo. I'll say thank you so much for watching. Please give us a like. Don't forget to give us a like. I'll see you at 1 o'clock. Thank you for the reminder. I'll see you at 1 o'clock. Me and Phil will be jumping down the agenda hole together to talk about what's going to be happening this week in politics. What's on the agenda? And until that moment, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.